Welcome to Balanced Life Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Angela Clark. Life is a crazy, wonderful adventure, and it can pull you in every direction, sometimes all at once. Can you really achieve success in one area of life without losing it all everywhere else? Can it really be done? Are you up for a good challenge? Well, let's get started. Welcome to episode 4 of Balanced Life Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Angela Clark. This week, I have been studying a book by Jen Sincero. It's called You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. Now, this title caught my attention immediately. I love it. I mean, who doesn't want to be a badass, right? So I've been reading the book, but as I've said before, I also upload the audiobook. So in public, I'm listening to this audiobook. Usually I'm either in my car or I'm at the gym. And if it's really good, I just keep that earpiece in, and you might find me getting my groceries with an earpiece in, and that means I'm listening to a good audiobook, and I'm not ready to stop. So anyway, Jen Sincero has such a great sense of humor. The book is really enjoyable to read, and it really makes you want to put away your flaws and failures, climb to the highest rock you can find, and announce to the world, I will win! She talks a lot about getting out of your own head and your own self-doubt. And I love that. She also talks about a topic that I thought I just had to share with you today. She talks about the importance of remembering our youthful self. I didn't say connecting with your inner child. That's something you can see your psychiatrist about. All right, so she's got this chapter in the book called Lead with Your Crotch. Yes, I said crotch. I told you, she has a great sense of humor. You're just gonna have to get the book. But what she's talking about, when we are young, we're still full of energy and ignorance. We aren't afraid to dream and scheme. Man, I love to scheme. And when I say scheme, I mean plan. Okay, we're going to do this. Ooh, and that will lead us here and here. And then we're over here. We're going to do this and this. I mean, it feels so good to dream and scheme about everything you're going to be doing. And we do that so easily in our youth. But as we grow up, life hits us. We've tried this. That was a failure. We've tried that. That was a failure. We tried again over here. That was a failure. We listen to people who tell us, don't even try that. No way you can do that. Or, are you really going to try that again, Sam? Don't you know by now that will never work? Or, oh, my uncle so-and-so did this years ago. It's a scam, right? I mean, you've all heard this stuff. Or, you have bills to pay. You can't afford that. Don't you just want to go get a good paying job? Right? You've heard all this stuff. How about, oh, my great Aunt Bertha tried that in 1975. That is never going to work. She almost lost her home over that. I love that kind of stuff. I mean, people, friends and family, aren't they just so encouraging sometimes? Now, let's cut them a break. They're trying to protect us. I get that. I know that. That's why I've learned to be very picky about who I will share my dreams and schemes with. And that's a whole other topic. But today I want to talk about finding that child, getting in touch with that child. What does that mean? Getting in touch with that side of you that wasn't afraid to dream, that was gullible enough to dream, that was gullible enough to believe in yourself, that had energy enough to stay up till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and then get back up and go to work. I mean, what else makes a person do that? When you've tapped into that belief in yourself and belief in what you're doing and the reason that you're doing it, it does give you this amazing amount of energy to do the things that you would have thought you never could have accomplished. Okay, so you've got your dreams, you've got your schemes, or your plans, I should say, and you're running really hard and you're working really hard. Eventually, you get so run down. I've been there. I get there frequently. I get there lots of times. When you're working really hard at whatever business you're building, it can be very lonely. It's physically draining. It's emotionally draining. It is. And if you've got a partner or a spouse or whatever, man, you cling to them and you make sure that you're working with that person. Because that's a huge blessing to have somebody, even if they're not doing the physical work, but if they're your partner and they can pull you out of your head and allow you to have an escape for a while, that is vital, vital to your success. And I bring that up because I just have to share with you. It's silly and it's crazy, but I have been a huge sci-fi fan my entire life. I can't even think of a time when I wasn't. And I have loved Star Trek as long as I can remember. Like, I can literally tell you the first episode of Star Trek that I watched, where I was, and how it changed my life. I'm just a huge sci-fi geek. Unashamedly, I am a huge sci-fi geek. But anyway, when I get overworked and overwhelmed, it comes out of me everywhere, you know? You get cranky. It's hard to dream when you're exhausted or feeling defeated. It's hard to focus and plan and put your head down and barrel through the next project when you're just feeling disconnected. And so my husband could see that I was getting that way. So he told me to shore up my projects for the weekend and that he was taking me away for a weekend. And he took me to this place in Ticonderoga, New York. And I will give them a shameless plug because they were amazing. It is an actual Star Trek set up in this old shopping plaza in this little town, Ticonderoga, New York. And Google it if you're a Trek geek like me. It is amazing. It was worth the trip. But he took me there, and I just had to take some time and totally embrace it. Just let that inner child out for a little bit, and I got to roam around that Star Trek set for like over an hour. And I actually got to sit my butt in the captain's chair. Oh my gosh, it was the biggest dream come true ever. It was actually a dream I didn't even know that I had. But what that experience did for me was refreshed me. It refreshed my mind, my heart, my spirit. I needed to just let loose for a little bit, go away and have no cares, no worries, not think about my business. That was a Saturday. The next day, we worked our way home. And it always happens this way. About probably 2 hours away, mentally, you start coming back home. But that's okay because I had been refreshed and renewed. And I love the business that I'm building. I'm passionate about it. So when I get refreshed and renewed, I'm excited to come back home and dive back into it. And it always happens this way. About an hour or two away from home, I think mentally I'm already in the office. And my husband and I start to talk about our plans, start to talk about where the business is financially, where we want to go with it, what we want to do next, what's our plans here. And that hour or two before we get home is so productive. I mean, we have done so much in that little time frame by the time we get home because we're ready. We are raring to rip into our week and to rip into this business and go from there. And it is more productive than if I would have worked Friday and Saturday and Sunday and then come into Monday morning still tired and exhausted and my butt still dragging and my heart still heavy because I've just not had any emotional or mental or physical release from the pressures that the business brings, right? Because we know it does. But if you can escape that for that little amount of time and go geek out somewhere, do something that relaxes you. For me, it was my husband ripping me away and letting me play on a Star Trek set. It was just an hour, really. But it was that release that I needed. That childhood experience that I needed for a little bit that allows me to come back and take on my business, to take on my world. So what is it for you? Do you need to go fishing for the weekend? Do you need to take some time off and go to a baseball game? Do you need to go to a concert? Or maybe it's not anything like that. Sometimes my husband and I will go away for a weekend and do nothing but drive around and see if we can find weird things to take pictures of. Because it's not about what we're doing, it's about what we're not doing. It's about getting away from reality for just a little bit so that we can embrace our youthfulness. To get away for a little bit, to do nothing but have fun, have no responsibilities mentally, physically, just to be together and have a good time so that we can come back and take on that world. So that when we come back, we are ready to build the most amazing business we can. We're ready to work hard. We're ready to get up and go to work and then come home and build that business until 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Or search out that mentor we've been meaning to call, we've been meaning to talk to make an appointment. Because we know we really need that mentor for this next step in our business. It gives us the energy to do the things that to others looks like we are so brave, when really it's because we've taken a step back to embrace that youthfulness, which means to embrace that ignorance, to believe in ourselves, to believe that we can achieve this. So in my closing, I'm begging you to just take some time, think about it. What do you need to find that youthfulness within you? Where did you lose it along the way? And how did you feel when you really embraced it? That moment in your youth when you knew you were conquering something awesome, when you believed in yourself, when you believed that you could really do things in life, that you could accomplish your dreams. Think back to that time. It was invigorating. It was refreshing. It was amazing. Now, what do you need to do to embrace that? What do you need to do to remember that? If it's been a while since you've been in touch with your youthful self, take a little bit of time to figure out what it is you need to do or how you can get away. If you've got kids, send them to your mamas for just a little bit. Give yourself 24 hours, minimum, and get the heck out of Dodge. Go embrace your youthfulness, have a little bit of fun, so that mentally you can actually refill your energy tank, refill your dream tank. Trust me, for those of you who would rather just put your head down and barrel through the next project and you don't have time for this crap, trust me, it's way more profitable than working through your weekend. I'm all for hard work. I know how to work hard, but I've also learned the importance of playing hard. And when you recognize that you need it, or someone that's close to you recognizes that you need it, trust them and let them take you away. Take that break you need. It is the most profitable thing you can do for yourself, for your business, for your relationships. And isn't that what this is all about? Finding the balance in your life? I talk about you can have it all. one step at a time? This is a really important step. You need to have that time to grow together with your loved ones, with the people that are important to you in your life. So let me just bring all this in for a conclusion. If you really want to be a badass, if you want others to look at you someday and think, holy crap, how did they do that? You're gonna have to suck it up and realize sometimes you just need to play. I hope that's not too deep for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed these couple of minutes that we've spent together. And please take a second to subscribe to this podcast, and then take your little finger right down to the comments section and leave a comment. Let me know if there's a topic that you'd like to hear talked about. And remember, you can find balance between life, career, work, family, and you can conquer your world one step at a time.